Seeking Out Solutions, or SOS Meetings. One of the tools provided to us by the Sanctuary Model is the Seeking Out Solutions, or SOS Meetings. This process is to assist in problem solving to avoid collective disturbances or to address a collective disturbance when it is occurring. Anyone in the agency, including students and families, can call an SOS meeting. The person who calls the SOS meeting is responsible for contacting an SOS meeting facilitator. The agency has designated SOS meeting facilitators. They are there to help you organize, run, and follow up on the SOS meeting. They will also assist in communicating with leadership and other departments as needed. If a student or family member calls the SOS meeting, you may be asked to connect them with an SOS meeting facilitator and to support the process. This could mean anything from collecting materials to getting them in touch with people they need to meet with. Please note that anytime a student or family member calls an SOS meeting, they should be connected with a facilitator. Before calling an SOS meeting, ask yourself 2 questions. Have I processed this issue or attempted to problem solve the issue with the people directly involved? And in order to solve this problem, do we need more people at the table? When preparing for the SOS meeting, the facilitator will work with you to develop a problem statement. You want the statement to focus on the problem you're trying to solve, not on people. The facilitator will work with you to make sure you have all the documentation you need, including copies of the reenactment triangle and the ground rules. Before the SOS meeting begins, participants will be asked to reflect on a few questions, including what do I see as the problem or challenge we are facing, and how have I contributed to the problem? We start the SOS meeting with a community meeting. It helps to add a 4th question to these community meetings, such as what are you looking forward to this weekend? After you finish the community meeting, state the reason for calling the SOS meeting. Review the ground rules and make sure that everyone agrees to them. You may also find it helpful to review the 7 commitments. We want to make sure we set the stage for a productive, respectful conversation. When needed, we can refer back to the ground rules and the 7 commitments to get people back on track. Clearly set up an area for parking lot topics. When going through the problem-solving process, it is easy to become derailed by other related problems. We want to note them for another time and remain focused on our problem statement. Use the self model to process through the problem. Focus on the safety, emotion, and loss for the first part, but make sure you allow time to work on the future goals. Document all of the feedback. Use the drama triangle to identify any reenactments that might be happening and any roles that might be being played out unknowingly. If the SOS meeting includes the student or family, plan for response by preparing to address the following questions. How can we respond creatively to help the student get out of any reenactment scenarios? How can we maintain hope for all involved? And how can we address any vicarious trauma or stress the caregivers are experiencing? Develop a written plan to be shared with all involved, including the student and other appropriate stakeholders. When you're coming up with your plan, try to set SMART goals. These future goals should be measurable and assigned to specific individuals or groups to allow for follow-up and accountability. If the SOS meeting concerns a specific student, inviting the student to the SOS meeting is ideal. At times, and for a variety of reasons, this may not be possible, so the next best thing is to find a time that key people can meet with the student to review what was discussed during the SOS meeting and develop a plan with the student. The facilitator or designated note taker will share their notes with the group, highlighting the future goals the team committed to. They will also send out an invitation for a follow-up meeting if one is deemed necessary. Make sure you come to the follow-up meeting prepared to discuss how everyone has worked towards these future goals. SOS meetings serve many functions. They provide a structure for problem solving, assist in developing social responsibility, and are a pathway that allows people to have their voices heard. It helps teams develop future goals, provides opportunities for individuals to address concerns in a healthy and productive way, and empowers people to break out of the reenactment triangle.